boxing professionals have reacted to Canelo Alvarez's spectacular battle against Jaime Munguía. Here are a few of the finest reactions.
Surprise him. You got to give a lot of props to Jaime Munguía. He won more fans tonight with the performance he had. You know what I mean?
It's experience, and he went 12 rounds with the current face of boxing, which is great. He comes back from this. He bounces back from this, and look, all along I've never disrespected Canelo as a fighter. He's always a good fighter. So what Munguía did against the current face of boxing was nothing to be ashamed of.
You got to
a lot.
We whoop his feet, right? Like Kendra said, we whoop his feet.
You had to see the fight, but Canelo did good, Munguía did good. It was a good fight.
All right, Terrence, man, you the best.
I appreciate you, bud.
It was a good fight. I just think Canelo's experience, let me call you back. I think his experience, played dividends, and he got the knockdown, but I know he was probably a little upset that he didn't knock him out. I'm very pro Canelo, but I'm going to just be a realist. I think, Canelo's not really throwing punches and bunches like I used to, combinations. He's a hell of a fighter. I think his experience is great, but I think the further that this fight drags out, I think it favors Benavidez.
Did excellent against the current face of boxing right now. I strongly feel that I take nothing away from Canelo. I've always said he's a good fighter in the ring, but this experience for Jaime will just take him to another level. It's just like Mayweather and Canelo. It's the same thing. Canelo got schooled, and then he became the face of boxing. He became a good fighter. Same thing with Munguia. He gains experience. He didn't get schooled, but he gains experience and becomes a better fighter. So this is just the beginning for Jaime.
Man, I got there at the end, but everybody know Canelo was a better fighter, and he did what he's supposed to do tonight. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. Who you think he should fight next?
Benavidez, of course, man. Everybody know that.
Yeah, I mean, we want to hear from you though. How you think that fight go?
Man,
Benavidez next. What happens?
I was at the press conference earlier, and Benavidez is a big dude, so. And I don't know. I got my money on Benavidez in that one. I ain't gonna lie.
You think he can knock Canelo out?
I think so.
Damn, how about Bud? Bud was here. Bud want to fight Canelo. You think Bud got a shot against Canelo? Or that too far-fetched?
I don't know. I got to see some more. But Bud, my dog, and I fuck with Bud, but I don't know if he can beat Canelo though.
What's next? And David Benavidez is the person that everybody across this country and across the world would like to see you fight. You said earlier this week you're willing. What are your thoughts now?
I don't know right now. I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna enjoy my family. But if the money is right, I made that call. If the money is right, I can fight right now. I don't give a shit.
Lightweight star Ryan Garcia said before the fight that it should have been a great night of fighting between two proud Mexican warriors. I thought Canelo's experience proved too much in the end, but you never knew. Munguia could have pulled off the upset. Either way, it would have been can't-miss entertainment for boxing fans. Garcia also added, Canelo has reached a stage in his career where legacy is the top priority. He's already accomplished so much, but he's not satisfied resting on his accomplishments. Canelo only takes challenges that can truly add to his standing as one of the greats. Munguia entered with a perfect record, but faced his toughest test against the skilled Canelo. Some thought Munguia's aggressive style could lead to mistakes against Canelo's experience. However, others felt this contest came at the right time for Munguia, as he had gained experience and wouldn't be intimidated against Canelo. Garcia continued,
with a talent like Canelo either, you feel me? So he gonna learn some things that night as well. And I think the biggest thing he'll learn is, can he take a punch?
Munguia is a big, young fighter who was undefeated so far. On paper, his size and high activity level presented some intrigue as a potential threat to Canelo. But we had seen Canelo face taller, stronger opponents before and figure them out. At his age and experience level, it was hard to imagine Munguia having attributes that Canelo hadn't seen and overcome already. One man who knows what it takes to challenge an elite pound-for-pound fighter is former light heavyweight champion Antonio Magic Man Tarver. When asked to analyze the upcoming clash between Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia, Tarver drew from his own experiences against Jones. Size, strength, and dogged determination could overcome pure skill if the bigger man applied constant pressure. Tarver acknowledged Canelo's clear advantages on paper. He was as talented and battle-tested a fighter as there was today. Precision punching and high-ring IQ got him to this level. However, Tarver believed Munguia brought intriguing attributes of his own. Tarver pointed out Jaime's ability to walk opponents down throughout fights. If he marched at Canelo without stopping, it could have worn the champ down. One thing that beats precision is constant activity.
As Canelo Alvarez, so that is still one of the biggest fights that can be made in boxing.
While favoring Canelo's skill set, Tarver cautioned that underestimating Munguia's pressure could have been a mistake. If Jaime used his strength and stamina to bully Canelo all night, he had the tools for a massive upset. It was up to Canelo not to let the bigger man's pressure overwhelm him. Both fighters were Mexicans, and they prided themselves on representing their country, which resulted in an action-packed affair. Mexicans are said to have brought out the best in each other when fighting. They aimed to show their best performances for their shared country in the ring. The fight was poised to uncover the full potential from each fighter. John Ryder, who had faced both fighters, predicted it would be close early as Munguia employed his pressure style. However, the former champion believed Munguia was extremely tough to keep away with his relentless aggression. He marched opponents down and threw a lot of leather. In the early going, that pressure would likely have kept Canelo from settling into a rhythm.
And I think we can have faith now that the judges will get the spot on again. It's going to be a tough fight, and Munguia's, I think maybe Canelo's reached his ceiling, but Munguia's there, and it's just how far off it he is.
Yeah. However, Ryder believed Canelo's experience at an elite level would serve him well as the fight progressed. Munguia's pressure could be smothering in the first half. He started to tire if a fighter could withstand his storms. That's where Canelo would take over. In Ryder's view, Canelo would solve the Munguia puzzle in the second half. His counters would start landing flusher, and the effect would show on Munguia. Canelo would grind him down and make it his kind of fight down the stretch. Unless he could get an early stoppage, I thought Canelo did enough to win a close decision.
That had on me moving forward, then, I mean, I said I wish I'd had that fight 10 years ago, but probably not, because I probably wouldn't be here.
It was seen as a tough ask for Munguia to dethrone Canelo, but an upset win would have grown his legend and taken his career to new heights. Other boxers were split on who would win, but most agreed Munguia would gain valuable experience even if he lost to the top pound-for-pound fighter. Two-time super middleweight champion David Benavidez knew the danger that Canelo Alvarez posed inside the ring. When giving his assessment of the Canelo versus Munguia matchup, Benavidez had some cautionary words for his Mexican compatriot. Jaime was a naturally big and strong guy who could really let his hands go in combinations. When he put punches together, he had pop in those shots. That kind of pressure style had worked well for him up to now. However, Benavidez understood the difference in opposition Munguia would face in the ring against Canelo. Canelo was just on another level in terms of experience against world-class fighters. His timing and accuracy were truly elite. The experienced Benavidez saw danger if Munguia tried to trade blows with the slick veteran. Jaime needed to use his size and try to box from the outside. Easier said than done against Canelo, I knew. But if he waded in too close, Canelo would start landing those efficient counters.
You know what I mean? It's just that the only thing that Munguia has to do is he has to keep his distance. He can't be in there on the inside with Canelo because that's what Canelo thrives at. He loves throwing those body shots and he will find it, so he has to keep the distance.
Benavidez believed Canelo had the firepower to punish any mistakes by Munguia inside the pocket. Once Canelo got his range and distances down, he'd pick Jaime off all night if he stayed in the pocket. Munguia's only chance was to try to box at a long range and use his physical advantages there.
Like how people say it is, you know, Munguia's a tough fighter. You know, he's Mexican blood, he's a warrior, so it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, in addition to everything you said, good advice to him. Yeah, that pace, I would think.
Others had suggested this match could have produced Canelo's most eye-catching KO to date. While Munguia may have enjoyed moments if he brought relentless pressure, most analysts shared the view that Canelo Alvarez's experience across multiple divisions would have carried him to a highlight reel victory.
But yeah, you know, it is what it is. I know they're working on the Jacobs and Canelo fight, and then they got, you know, Golovkin hasn't done nothing yet, so.
Jermall Charlo, who who went the distance with Canelo in a boring matchup, didn't think Munguia had anything special to trouble Canelo. Jamal commented, "I had my chance to dethrone Canelo in what was a close fight, but now, having shared the ring with him, I could say that there are levels to this, and Canelo operated on another level in terms of skill and experience." Jamal also added, "Munguia was tough, and he could punch. I'll give him that. But when you look at who he'd been with compared to Canelo's resume, there was no comparison. Canelo had pretty much seen it all at this point, against elite opposition." Charlo expected Canelo's ring IQ and defense to be too much for Munguia to handle. Unless the unbeaten Mexican could land a perfect punch early, Charlo didn't think Munguia had the tools to trouble Canelo for long. Canelo's conditioning and experience in championship rounds led Charlo to predict he may have broken Munguia down for a late stoppage.
As his promoter, I will get him, the best deal structure, and we will once again, build one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year.
Oscar De La Hoya, who promoted both fighters at different times, was pulling for the upset, saying, "Canelo had done so much for Mexico and had carried our flag proudly for over a decade, but as a promoter, I was always looking for the next star to emerge. I believed Jaime Munguía had all the tools to be that guy."
For the first time in many years, we're gonna have two Mexicans in the ring. Two Mexicans in the ring who are at the highest level.
De La Hoya first worked with Munguía earlier in his career when he was still developing. He had been impressed with how much Munguía had improved in recent years, both physically and technically. De La Hoya commented, "When Jamie was younger, you could see the raw talent and power, but it was his work ethic and dedication in the gym that really separated him. He was highly motivated and genuinely wanted to be the best, which was what you needed to get to the top." While picking against Canelo would have been a bold call, De La Hoya believed Munguía would have brought the pressure and youth needed to dethrone the veteran champion on boxing's biggest stage potentially. He thought this fight could have marked a seminal moment in the sport's evolution. As one of only a few fighters to share the ring with Canelo Alvarez multiple times, Gennady Golovkin's perspective on how to defeat the Mexican star held value. Golovkin said, "Canelo was a very smart boxer with great defense. We went 24 hard rounds, and I never put him down. He is a very tough guy who knows how to win." However, Golovkin didn't fully dismiss Jaime Munguia's chances either. As a big puncher in his physical prime, Golovkin believed Munguia's youth and power gave him a puncher's chance. Golovkin also added, "Munguia was a young, big guy with strong hands. Canelo didn't like it when guys had success hitting him. One shot can change everything." But Golovkin cautioned that Munguia would have needed to be at his sharpest to take advantage, as Canelo was a master of avoidance and counterpunching against come-forward opponents. He felt Canelo's experienced edge would have been hard for Munguia to overcome, even with physical advantages. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.